There are so many animation studios out there that have been blessing us with innovative, thought provoking, visually enthralling, and introspective movies since their inception. Despite some of them having bright, colorful, and inviting artistic display, the scope of the stories told within them is not limited to happy, feel good stories. They certainly don't shy away from telling heavy, gut-wrenching, sitting in complete silence for 15 minutes past the movie end type of stories. Sadly, those indie animation studios rarely get the recognition they truly deserve, not unless they are backed by mega corporations. The animation studio behind the Netflix movie Nimona does not belong with those indie studios. It doesn't measure up to any of these studios, not because it's newly established and Nimona is its first and only movie, but because, in my opinion, it's just a corporate shell of a company hilariously labeled as an indie studio, despite it being owned by a multi-billionaire, and not to mention it's part of a glorified, soulless propagandist corporation. And this animation sector of it is led by former Disney's animation execs. That and Nimona was once under 20th Century Fox, which, as you know, is owned by Walt Disney Studios. And from what I've seen, some of the artists who worked on this project worked for Disney and or Blue Sky Studios. The last bit might be redundant because Blue Sky Studio is also owned by Disney. But let them tell it, it's a triumphant win for that indie animation studio. Anyhow, talking about this Nimona movie is gonna be tricky because of all the messages in it. I just want to talk about the story, but I don't want to ignore the elephant in the room, so bear with me as I dredge through this piece of fictional media. By the way, hi, welcome to my channel. If you haven't seen this movie's poster, this is what it looks like. It's really inconspicuous, but the movie is in fact one of those movies where the people behind it virtue signal to the point of turning it into fetishistic cringe fest. So your tolerance in regards to whether you can sit through this movie's depiction of stereotypes may vary, but I think the core story is relatively harmless. Obviously, you can read into the story's message and see how this is an allegory for this and that, but just like with other movies, it's up for interpretation. Anyways, the main character in this movie is not straight, and his relationship with his partner does not fade into the background. At the same time, both characters have personalities outside of that. In other words, externally, the writers ticked off all the boxes, but internally, I think they're decently written. The couples are part of the guards in this futuristic medieval kingdom, and spoilers, the main character gets falsely implicated in a crime. When this happens, he proclaimed his innocence, but he's unable to prove it to the other guards, his partner included, and the kingdom's guards surround him, they arrest him and throw him in jail. Now the protagonist and his partner are effectively on two opposing sides. The love interest, whom I'll call Blondie, is a law enforcer, and the protagonist is a wanted lawbreaker. I said wanted because soon after his arrest, he escaped from jail with the help of some mysterious girl. This girl showed up in front of his cell when the guards were away and offered to help him. In exchange for that, she wanted him to team up with her and wreak havoc in the kingdom, with him falling into the role of the villain, which she perceived him to be due to the false crime incident. Then her role would be to be his sidekick. He explained to her that her perception of him was wrong and that he was falsely accused. He told her what he wants to do was to investigate the situation to clear his name. The girl unenthusiastically agreed to help him, though she expressed that she'd rather him accept his new reality because people won't accept him back. So, Aside from the difference in perspective, the two have drastically different approaches when it comes to the plan on how they'd clear his name. In short, he's all for stealthy approach, and she's all guns blazing. Throughout the movie, they have their run-ins with the guards, led by Blondie, who's surprisingly not a one-note character. He's not supportive toward the lead no matter what. Like the lead, he's trying to figure out the situation whilst doing what he's supposed to, which is capturing law fugitive, his partner, and the girl with him. So he questions if what he knows or what he's being told is true, and his relation with the lead goes through its ups and downs. This mirrors the relation between the lead and the girl, specifically on the lead side, because the girl's real motive is not clear to him, let alone who she truly is. Whenever the protagonist asks her something personal, she'd give a joke answer, or at least an answer where you can't tell if she's being honest or not. But as the movie continues, we see them trust each other and we learn more about both characters. It's satisfying to see the story unfold and for things to make sense. That's why I'll try my best to not include footage that could spoil the story. And I guess that's where I'll leave the story. I don't have anything negative to say about the story, it's just good. And because it focused on few characters, they all feel three-dimensional. The emotion and the things they go through, their doubt, hesitation, are believable and earned. Also, the movie has high stakes and has its own okay, they actually went there type of moments. And the jokes in the movie were consistently funny, from the cleverly written funny scenes to the physical comedy with the animation to the randomly silly chatter between characters in the background. I have to say, the girl is one of those loud, extrovert, constantly moving characters. And with characters like that, there's a thin line between them being seen as overly energetic and being annoying. The line was not crossed, and I found her to be likable and funny. Anyways, I don't recommend this movie. No, I didn't misspeak. I'm being honest with you, because I wouldn't recommend it to any of my younger relatives, because I don't think imagery should be underestimated. Unless you're fine with all of that, then I guess. So for adult, I do recommend it. Should I have spoiled the whole movie, or do you intend to watch it? Let me know in the comment. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you like it. Bye bye.